Yo, what's up, Bulls family, Bulls Nation? We back with another episode, man. It's the Bully Sports Pod. Y'all go and like, comment, subscribe, man, and we gonna get straight into it, man. So let's get it. All right, now look. So it was some articles that came out this weekend, man. Not even this weekend, yesterday. I'm sorry, y'all. And we gonna address this, man. So a guy by the name of MSG NBA. He's a verified sports person, spokesman or whatever. And he made an article regarding the Chicago Bulls. He's not a Chicago Bulls beat writer or anybody, I believe, who has direct ties to the organization. I think he's just an NBA writer. But he wrote an article saying, should the Bulls pursue Jerami Grant and Harrison Barnes? And what is the biggest differences between the two? And I thought he had some interesting points, man. So I want to get into that, man. So let's get it. Now, in the article, let's get to it, man. He talks about the biggest differences between Jerami Grant and Harrison Barnes. Now, y'all know on the previous episodes on this show, I'm kind of indifferent about trading for either player. The biggest factor in trading for either Harrison Barnes or Jerami Grant is they're good players. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad players or anything like that. But when you're trading, you want to make things you want to have fair value. You know what I'm saying? Or close to it as possible. So my only issue with trading for either player is neither one has ever been an all-star. Jerami Grant has more experience because he played with Team USA. I believe Harrison Barnes even played with Team USA as well too. He did for sure back in the past. But neither player has ever been an all-star. They do have good experiences. You know, played under Popovich for Team USA. Played under Kerr, Harrison Barnes, and the Warriors days. I believe his rookie year he played with Mark Jackson. And you know, the last couple of years he's been just with Luke Walton, which he just recently got fired. But yeah, you know, had that way around the NBA, played on some teams with, you know, championship aspirations. Pretty projected the same kind of career. Started off on strong teams, got drafted to winning programs. And then kind of bet on themselves by going to lesser organizations. And I just think it haven't panned out really for neither one of those players. They're good, but then again, they're not great, you know. So when you put that in perspective, even in Jerami Grant's case, same way, I believe he got drafted by OKC, played for OKC for a couple years under Billy Donovan. And then went to Denver Nuggets where he pretty much started to crave out identity and became more a staple, became a starter, was known for defense and rebounding, could block shots. Coming in, that's all he was known for mainly, was just athletic big who can play defense. Then he started to develop his game more, being able to hit the open three. And then continue to get better at defense. And now you see what he's doing as a number one option on Detroit Pistons, which is a lesser team. Not in the sense of, you know, their players aren't terrible or anything like that, but they just don't have the experience. When I say lesser, I don't want to take shots at no organization, anything like that. But yeah, they're not one of the more experienced premier type teams. So him being a number one option, you kind of see what he could do. Borderline all-star. He is the focal point pretty much in Detroit until this past all season when they drafted Cade Cunningham. So when you have Cade and then you also have Jerami Grant, you're looking at almost a 10-year timeline difference, you know. So, and you know they're not going to build around Jerami Grant. Like, they're not going to, you know, package Cade. They just drafted him with the number one pick. So would it make more sense just to try to trade Jerami Grant at the peak of his career while also having 1 year remaining left on his deal? You know, he could try to stick it out and be a Piston and things like that. But I don't think Detroit as an organization With it being a 10-year difference, and then they're not competing, I could see them trying to go younger and maybe find a core around Cade, because I don't think Killian Hayes is doing it for him. Um, Isaiah Stewart is pretty good. I think they want to keep him around with Cade Cunningham, but they still kind of need, for sure, that 2, 3, 4 positions. They don't really, they got young pieces there, but they don't have, prominent pieces. They got Josh Jackson and Trey Lyles, and like they just got different, players that I don't really see them trying to groom and build with Kay Cunningham. So maybe they do want to make a trade for somebody younger who could be more established and fit with what they got going forward, which makes us an interesting piece because our really main two trade assets that we have, that could command any type of return for either one of those players is Patrick Williams and Kobe White. So when you put that in perspective, do you do that as the Chicago Bulls? And for me, it's kind of hard to give up, especially both, because to me, at the end of the day, when you look at Kobe White and you look at Patrick Williams, they both have at least all-star potential. If we want to be correct about things. Patrick Williams, y'all know, number 4 overall pick, was being compared to Kawhi Leonard and things like that. So it's all about him developing to that piece. He already has the body, NBA body, shooting 44% from downtown, can guard your best players, pretty much was durable until this season. He has a lot of potential, man. He got a lot of things that you can look forward to with Patrick Williams. I definitely could see Pat at age 28 being an all-star. I don't see why not. And I think he'll be better than, probably Jerami Grant and both Harrison Barnes by that time. But the thing is, we need somebody now, which is the counter argument on would you trade Patrick Williams? And, we can feel that he'll be better than these two players by the age of 28, but there's no guarantee. And then he has been getting hurt this year, so it's like, is that something, especially with the wrist? I heard that's gonna be a long-term issue. Is that gonna be something that really affects his game, going into these next couple seasons? And then Kobe White as well too. Now a lot of y'all, kind of, to be honest, be hating on Kobe White, but you got to really put it in perspective. The outlook of the type of player Kobe White is. He's looking to project more of a, Lou Williams, Jordan Clarkson. To me, that is basically his floor. His ceiling, if he really develop his game and he, tighten up the small aspects, like get better ball handling, be more effective off the dribble, finish better, he can actually be a CJ McCollum type player. But in reality, CJ never been an all-star, but Lou Williams have been an all-star. So if you look at it, Kobe White even has all-star potential, which Harrison Barnes and Jerami Grant, don't get me wrong, they have played on winning teams and winning organizations, was never a number 1 or number 2 option, but they never been all-stars. And I don't really project them being all-star, especially if they get traded to our team. They would be a 4th option. Maybe arguably 3rd. I could see one of them maybe leaping over Vooch, but I don't see that being Harrison Barnes. I would see that being Jerami Grant, just off the potential and, the things that he could do off the ball and things like that. Harrison Barnes is more of a filler player. He's going to play his role. He's a 54% corner 3 shooter. He came in, and was always a complimentary piece, even in Sacramento. They was trying to build around De'Aaron Fox, and they brought Harrison Barnes in and Buddy Hield and things like that. So he's not even number 1 option there. But he always played that supporting cast player, and I think that's something that could fit here as well too. To me, it makes sense addressing the issue that we need, which is, a sizey defender who can possibly guard a Giannis or Kevin Durant, especially in the playoffs. They are 2 good basketball players, above average, especially at their position where the four is pretty prominent in today. That 3-4, that Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Kevin Durant to Giannis to LeBron. Like you got to guard some tough players there. Some shit. Even if I quoted some legends, basically, you know what I'm saying. So you're gonna need to be diverse defensively, especially at that role. I don't see Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan guarding those type of players. And Javonte Green, he gives you that hustle, but then again, he's outmatched because he is only, I believe, 6'4". You know what I'm saying? And you're going against 6'8" type players, 6'9", 6'10", respectively. You're gonna need some size to counterbalance that. So getting back to the article, man, he was saying that he preferred the Bulls go towards Harrison Barnes. He's much more of an efficient shooter, much more of a role player. Can come in. We already know what he could do, and he's a better rebounder. But as far as Jerami Grant, the exposition to that is Jerami Grant is a much better defender, and he's a better ISO creator, in my opinion. So if I was to go to the two, my main thing would be defense, because I feel we are a high-level offensive team. Javonte Green and Jerami Grant, if you swap them two out, to me that's like a major win. You know what I'm saying? Because you got what Javonte Green is giving you night in, night out, but now you have that in a bigger body, as far as exchanging that energy on the defensive end, being able to, dunk the ball in transition. We all know Jerami Grant is super springy. He's not a strong rebounder, only average about 4 rebounds. But also as well, he's a much better defender. And he can guard those 3s and 4s, those dynamic type players, those Giannis's and Kevin Durant's. Much better than probably a Harrison Barnes could do. But Harrison Barnes do bring better offensive potential because he know how to play off ball. He know how to play as the 3rd or 4th option, which Jerami Grant can do as well too. But that's the biggest argument there. He just left that situation in both of his previous destinations, and now he's getting an opportunity to be the number 1 option. But then again, they just had the number 1 pick with him being the number 1 option, which they kind of now have his replacement. So it does not make any sense to try to build around Jerami Grant when you have a number 1 pick in Cade Cunningham. So that's the decision the Detroit Pistons have to make. And then also Jerami Grant has only 1 year left on his contract. So you'll probably get the best package right now, knowing if you wait to next season that, hey, man, it might be tough because then now teams are only going to be trading for a rental because he's going to be unrestricted after that year. So it's like, I'm not going to give up too much for a half a season of Jerami Grant. Now maybe if I get a season and a half, I could possibly coach out, a Kobe White, something like that. Kobe White, Javonte Green, and Derrick Jones Jr. type package. Just something like that. That's pretty steep though, but I also think that puts your starting 5 into a different tier because defensively that raises the floor. You know what I'm saying? And offensively, I don't think we have no ceiling because you have 2 dynamic, 2 and 3s that's just, can give you 30 on any night. And most likely they're going to give you at least 24 plus together each and every night. So Jerami Grant to come in, as long as Vooch giving us rebounds and at least 15, I think Jerami Grant to have a nice role. Already familiar with, Billy Donovan and our tours. And then again, Billy Donovan to me is kind of offensive guru. He put things together. He put, people in positions to succeed. No player on this team right now, I feel like is playing, bad at all. Especially from an offensive perspective, the shots that they getting, how they contribute into the offensive end. I feel it's equal distribution and it's an actual pecking order, which, results in wins. We actually have, we know who has the ball in the 4th quarter. We know who's going to carry us through, pretty much the whole games. We know, what Lonzo's role is. Lonzo excelling in that. We know what Caruso going to do. We know what Vooch Vooch gonna get them mid range, and he gonna get those short jump hooks and things like that. And everything is consistent. You know what I'm saying? So I think if Billy Donovan was to, receive a Jerami Grant or Harrison Barnes, he'll work them well within the lineup. So I have no doubts about offensively. It's just defensively, I want to be able to match up with bigger and stronger and more longer players. I feel like in the playoffs that will give us problems. As y'all seen, we just played against the Washington Wizards, and Cal Kuzma was pretty much playing bully ball with us. You know what I'm saying? And to me, if we got Jerami Grant, that's it's no question that he's gonna slow that down. He's gonna stop that easily. So it only makes sense. If I approach the situation like I said in the last episode, I would prefer to go buy out or try to trade for like a Robert Covington. Well, I'm not giving up too much. I don't have to give up Pat or Kobe. Maybe a Troy Brown Jr. and a Javonte Green, or a Troy Brown and some other, maybe Tony Bradley, and try to buy out, approach the buyout market and get a Tristan Thompson. Or maybe we could go get Thad Young, like I said in the last episode. Thad was the second best Bull last year, man. So it's looking like, that's definitely what's going to happen with him in San Antonio. I don't even think he's playing out there. So I think they're going to approach that with the buyout situation. So you will have candidates there, who can fill that need on your team. And you could approach it that way, or you could do the trade route, where you really bolster the ceiling of your team by bringing in one of these more established players who can affect the game offensively and defensively. But then at that is, what are you giving up? So if I'm AK, I'm not giving up both Pat and Kobe, maybe one or the other, and I really don't want to give up Pat. I'm constantly going to dangle Kobe out there. And yeah, that's how I would approach that situation. But then again, hey, we don't know. We got the trade deadline a little over a month away. So let's see what's going to happen. That's a quick wrap up, y'all, man. If y'all got any other, ideas, I know a lot of people like Christian Wood and, who else? Marvin Bagley and things like that, man. If y'all want those other type of players, man, we could talk about it down below, man. If y'all got any other things, I love talking about Bulls, man. So if y'all got any other, ideas or things y'all want to talk about, man, get in that comment section, man. But I'm going to wrap it up here, Bulls Nation. Peace, y'all. Have a good one, man. Y'all enjoy this Tuesday afternoon, man.